Good morning, everyone, from here in Hong Kong. May I add my warm welcome to Golden Age Expo and Summit. I'm sure you're going to have an amazingly fruitful and stimulating time ahead. My name is Stephen Phillips, and I lead the team at Invest Hong Kong, a department of the Hong Kong SAR government that helps companies from around the world to set up and grow in our great city. As we all know, ageing is an increasing and indeed shared challenge around the world. And shared challenges call for shared visions and solutions to meet those very challenges. Experts and visionaries from many fields have a vital role to play, and that of course includes entrepreneurs and businesses. The COVID-19 pandemic presented countries and people around the world with so many challenges that we know all too well, not least the many people who so sadly lost their lives. But if there is one glimmer of hope, it has been how the use of technology in many different guises has been rapidly deployed to solve problems. From vaccines to logistics and supply chain, to e-commerce and to healthcare, the list goes on. And this is and must be true for rising to and solving the complex challenges arising from rapidly aging societies. Technology will, I'm sure, have a crucial role to play, from deep and fundamental R&D to help find solutions to those diseases that grow in prevalence with old age, to day-to-day solutions that can be deployed in homes, healthcare environments, and in cities to improve the quality of life. Think novel drug discoveries, think new smart devices, think smart homes, think how AI and robotics can be deployed, think how telemedicine and community nursing can relieve pressure on health services. The list really does go on and on. Of course, around the world, including right here in Hong Kong, many such ideas have already been implemented successfully, but more can be done. At Invest Hong Kong, our role is to help companies from overseas and the mainland to set up and grow right here in Hong Kong. That includes supporting entrepreneurs and companies with solutions that can help us in Hong Kong, in China, and across Asia to help address the gamut of issues arising from our aging societies. So please do feel free to contact us in Hong Kong or any of our 30-odd offices around the world. And do join the next session where colleagues and partners will share with you much more. Thank you, and may I wish you a really fruitful summit and expo.
Okay, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us at this session. My name is Casey Lam. I am Head of Chamber and Consulate Engagement at Invest Hong Kong. I'm very delighted to welcome all of you to our session this morning that is hosted by Invest Hong Kong. I have two very special guests. I have by my side in our studio here at our office, Fujimoto-san, who is formerly a senior executive at Panasonic for 35 years. He has joined Shunhing in Hong Kong since 3 years, I believe. Yes. And Shunhing, as you know, is a partner of Panasonic's in Hong Kong. And with this role, Fujimoto-san has a very wealth of experience and wisdom to share with the team here on how to develop their businesses and the products, and how to bring new products and new technologies into Hong Kong. Fujimoto-san has an extraordinary wealth of experience accumulated through 35 years at one of the top consumer products companies in Japan. With that, actually, he is a voice for the foreign business community that will hopefully give an idea to foreign companies that are thinking about Asia, and more particularly thinking about Hong Kong, about the possibilities that exist here. Not only here, because Hong Kong is also a base for accessing the Greater Bay Area and the vast market that exists over there. Aging is a serious problem that is occurring in Hong Kong at the moment. Japan has walked this path before us, about 25 years ahead of us, and the many experiences and stories that Fujimoto-san is able to share with us will be able to light our way forward. And so with that, I will hand over to Fujimoto-san.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for introducing me. Yes, very much. So would you please show me my brief introductions? Yes. This is my name, Keiji Fujimoto, Fujimoto Keiji. Fujimoto is a family name. So I'm very happy to be on this panel talk together with two gentlemen. So I'm now working for Shunhin Hong Kong company, which is very well known as Panasonic, brand, products sold distributor. Then before Shunhin, I joined Panasonic 1982, and then I worked there 35 years, as Akeshi said. So I came to Hong Kong 2017, and then joined Shunhin. But before that, I had a very rare experiences in Panasonic, handling many different kind of products. I think that's also come to the same point we can discuss today. So first, I was responsible for the global device and the components business, small components business. Since recently, many Japanese, such electric manufacturer also selling the inside strong component to outside. So my major customers were like USA Apple and Google and NVIDIA and Tesla, and in China side, Huawei, and the Europe side, Ericsson, something like this. And in Taiwan, our customer were like Foxconn and Quanta and Composers, ODM manufacturer also. Then after that, I was given a chance, as you can see here, semiconductor business. And then after that, finally, I worked for Panasonic, but I was given a chance to work for Panasonic brand as global consumer products marketing and sales side. So through such experience, one thing the common is that for me, always I was given a chance to work for global business. So then since I came here in Hong Kong, I started to be involved in this elderly care business 4 years ago. And then I really like to contribute to Hong Kong society. And at the same time, I really like to be good functioning bridge between Hong Kong and Japan. So, based on this, my experience, I think that if we can share my experience today with audience, some of them are Hong Kongers and some of them not Hong Kongers. So then can think about some good idea today. So before that, I also like to show some of the slide to So on right side in the past, I also joined some major speech like you can see on the on the right side. Thank you. So let me a little bit share more about what's current in the work company I'm working for right now. This is the company I'm working for now, right now. We call it Shunhin. The reason why I'm showing this in a slide, Shunhin is not the company for rice cooker, but actually, I think this really presents that Shunhin has a very strong tie with Japan, Panasonic, and then even such small city to Hong Kong, we were able to request them to let Panasonic produce so many different kind of rice cooker for the people in Hong Kong. Behind this, we have a lot of things we would like to share with you. So then Shunhin already doing business 67 years in Hong Kong with Panasonic. Oh. Then the last slide to introduce myself. So why we can get such kind of attention from Panasonic side for the people in Hong Kong? And we have a very strong bond, and we always provide trustworthy liability to business partner to Japan side, including Panasonic. So left side, you can see the founder, Mr. Konosuke Matsushita, and also William Mon, Chunhin founder. Then even now, the right side, you can see Mr. David Mon, and then Mr. Tsuga. He is now changing his position now. But long years, we can keep this very good, tight relationship. That's the reason why they can come and show their expertise in Hong Kong side for the people. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Fujimoto-san. What an extraordinary career and what a fantastic wealth of experience we have to share with us today. First of all, maybe I can ask you a question about your own views of Hong Kong, because you came to Hong Kong in 2017, you say.
So yeah, thank you. I think that's very important point. That one of the purpose of today's, this talk.
Yeah.
Since I'm Japanese, so I have a lot of chance to see Japanese broadcasting TV program. But in Japan, the information about Hong Kong is very, very limited. Sometimes only one-sided, and then people can only know about some negative impact only, and that's it. So therefore, I think that like this case, I really like to share and then like to point out what is Hong Kong real situations. Would you please see this slide? Next slide. I cannot describe and then share with you everything, but I just want to say that Hong Kong is now very safe, and still we have a lot of freedom, and then can do a lot of good business. So number one, right above side, COVID-19. Hong Kong actually almost has no local case long time, as you can see this chart. And also vaccination rate. Now, first vaccination ones is 55% done. And also second vaccinations finished people already 43%. So then at the right side, you can see the number of IPO. Hong Kong became #1 in the world 7 times in the past. And also still, I think, as everybody know that because of the current situation of stock market between US and China, and many people like to come to Hong Kong or Shanghai market. So as a result of that, you can see on this chart, Hong Kong still is very popular, and then very strong place for us venue. So third place, Hong Kong retail sales. This is a part a little bit difficult to share because people cannot see an actual real life in Hong Kong, looking from the outside of Hong Kong. However, government budget also put the budget for even for electric consumption voucher into 5,000 Hong Kong dollar to everyone. So government tried to stimulate the market situations at the same time, getting the better condition for COVID-19. The market is now coming back. So then fourth point, as you can see on the left, right below side, this is some Japanese people may know, and Hong Kong people may know, but other people may not know. Hong Kong has been #1 destination for Japanese agricultural products as destinations 16 years consecutively.
I think that this is actually a really important point because Hong Kong is such a small market in itself. We're only 7 million people, and yet we can be the #1 global export destination for something like agricultural products out of Japan. I think it says a lot about the demand that exists here for high quality, very well presented and very well branded products here in Hong Kong. And I think it's a very, very good illustration of the potential opportunities for companies that are thinking of approaching this market and saying, hey, where should I put my first, I mean, not the only, but my first market in Asia. And I believe Hong Kong has illustrated here very, very clearly that actually for products that are high quality and well branded, as I said, the market in Hong Kong is very discerning. It's a very savvy consumer, and they're very able to distinguish good products from not so good products.
So behind this number and the scene, I think we have a lot of things to prove that Hong Kong and Hong Kong people are very capable enough to handle Japanese food quality. And of course, Japan can export that Japanese agriculture product to many different countries. However, when they think about to the consumer, how they can secure the good quality and a taste to the end user.
Right.
It must have a lot of technique and technology and handling knowledge. Hong Kong people already know the real taste of Japanese food since they, yearly basis 2.3 million out of 7.5 million populations, almost 1/3 of people visit Japan and then experiences already. They have a customer experience already. So based on that, also in addition to that, they have a very global mind and very advanced technology, cold chain even. So they can take care of this product. This is one of the things, I think this is common even later on when we discuss about other things.
Okay.
Then
the next one.
Next one.
So
maybe I think we may have some question about this.
Sure. I mean, for companies I mentioned, who are thinking about the Hong Kong market, what are the opportunities here? How can companies come to take advantage of that? There are characteristics about the Hong Kong market which makes it very special and distinct.
So taking of this chance, maybe Chan Nico Gawi, I think for those audience are not in Hong Kong, I better to share this information again. So let me use some few slides to share what the current situations. Okay, so this is the Greater Barrier. For Hong Kong people, you are very familiar with this. So Hong Kong, China, already proceeded one belt, one road, on one road policy. But under the COVID-19, it takes time to show one of the great success case in this policy. However, I think we have another great initiative, Greater Bay Area, as you can see on the center side. The city, this area consists of 11 cities, Hong Kong, Guangdong, Shenzhen, etc., as you can see on the map, and the populations, 86 million, 3/4 of Japan.
Wow.
Originally, Keishi-san, I think, 2 years ago, I also sometime requested to show this kind of number in the public, but it was only 70 million. In these 2 years, it started increasing a lot, and it was once half of Japan population in the past, now increasing more. Then even the GDP, as you can see that 1.6 trillion, then number 11 in the world ranking. So one of the great things, and I'd like to share with you, the specialty of these regions, it has ecosystem. As you can see on the right side below, it has components in Shenzhen side, Guangdong side, and good manufacturing on Guangdong areas. Many people, Japanese and Germans and Europeans come here to make more better manufacturing. And then through Hong Kong, they can get the new technology and the finance too. So this has a lot of one package, good package to start a good new business.
I think one point that's important to point out here is in mainland, everything is driven by central government. It's policy driven. The economy is driven by a policy. And as soon as the Greater Bay Area was announced, somebody joked that overnight the population would explode. In fact, the update of 86 million came as a result of a census done just this summer. So people knew that it would grow, but had no idea it would grow so much. So I think this is illustrative of the mainland population being aware and sensitive to the economic growth as a product of policy drivers.
Yeah.
And I think that's something which is illustrated very, very clearly here. The ecosystem is also very, very clear, with some parts of that ecosystem in Hong Kong, other parts of that ecosystem in China, and the integration between Hong Kong and China being increasing every year.
So behind the scenes, would you please let me show what's happening behind the scenes?
Yes.
The last slide, please. So GBA rapidly expanding with new attractive schemes. This is some part of this. So even finance, that now we found that in this 6 months in this 2021, foreign direct investment GBA, almost 16 billion US dollar. But then, and it's increased versus last year, 21%. So then, most of them, 97% were invested to GBA actually, Pearl River area. As you can see, like 15.50 billion US dollar basis. Of course, China itself as a whole country, as you can see there, 2990 billions. It's a huge, money, almost equivalent to the, Japanese, GDP yearly basis. But, this is one of the great things. And then also, 4 GBA cities, started recently, multi-currency bank system, that one-stop easy money control for those people who can come to this area to start some new business. And also innovation hub, this is really great, like related with LSGM, development of Hong Kong Shenzhen innovation technology. Actually, in Shatin in Hong Kong, we already have Science Park. It's really big and innovative site, and then gathering a lot of different companies. In addition to that, now we are producing, building this, second site to let more have a collaboration between China Shenzhen and Hong Kong side. So as far as I know, China engineer can come to Hong Kong only once a week for the passport reasons. So, but if they can, make this, kind of big second site between Shenzhen and Hong Kong, they can stay here long time, anytime. So they can do more collaborate, study, and then together to develop the new products too. At the same time, in the legal tax issues in Hong Kong is still safe. And then, as you can see here, legal practitioner to obtain mainland practice qualifications to do more business in this area. And also tax is very good conditions for the entrepreneur here. Right. The next, interesting thing that so behind the scene, another thing's happening. I think many people really know this, but this is Pearl River area in Greater Bay area. So started from like airport, Hong Kong airport to Macau bridge, many bridges has been built and then building now, still now, from the top Nansha Bridge and Hunan and Shenzhen, Shenzhen and Zhongshan. So many bridges has been now built and building. And then as a result of that, from Hong Kong to cover this Pearl River, for example, like like Japanese food, fresh food and fish can be delivered in this area within 0 day. 0 day.
What does that mean?
So that, because of the development and maintenance of this road and the bridges, of course, they can use some direct flight from Japan to Shenzhen and Guangdong area, but they can use already have a big, market in Hong Kong. They can accept cancellation, adding a new order flexibly, based on Hong Kong big market, then can deliver and communicate with this area by truck, and then within 0 days.
On the same day.
Same day. So mean that this become a one big economic zone.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right click. Okay. Okay.
So can we go to the next?
Of course,
next
yeah. I mean, okay, back to the question, the theme of today's talk, aging in Hong Kong, aging globally, actually. We will find in the coming slides that actually it's a trend and a path that all economies will be following as they develop economically, birth rates come down, and that leads to aging. In terms of what's happening in Hong Kong and what lessons we can learn from Japan that has gone down this path before us, maybe you can share with us some things that have happened before and then something that we can
thank you. Yes.
learn from.
So maybe I think Alan may also share about the importance of DSGs and the new directions for societies. But this is one of the focus even for the investment. I think it's because we cannot escape from this issue. Let me go to the next slide. So this is a global aging population trend. I think everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
But over 65 years old, as you can see on the left side, first Japan became very super aging society now.
Yeah.
And then second, green, Hong Kong. So we are now here 2020.
Yeah.
The Hong Kong over 65 years ratio 17 around, and Japan already 28, but it's becoming more increasing right now. As you can also see, the over 65 years population in median basis on right side. China, of course, the basic population is huge, big number. Therefore, it's also create a big, elderly, numbers.
Yeah.
And in Japan, as you can see on the other red figures,
yeah,
it's increasing a lot, and Hong Kong too.
Yeah.
But let me see more in detail. The next slide. So if we focus on Japan and Hong Kong, as you can see, now, heading for the 2035. So Japan over 65, 32, and then Hong Kong 29, getting closer and closer. Then, if you can see, urgent common issues, improving quality of life for elderly,
yeah,
but at the same time, second, this is one of the most important things, reduction of medical and welfare costs. Because, now, today, time is limited. I didn't share with this number, but Japan, out of almost over 10% of, country budget, need to pay for this area.
Wow.
And then every year increasing, every 10 years, increasing like over from 10% to 15%,
yes,
and going to be 20% soon.
Yes. Yes.
In this like a 2035. So you can see, slide, average life expectancy in 1735, in Hong Kong 17, male 82, female 87, Japan 81, 87, and going to be 2035, 8490 and 8389.
Yeah.
And then if we can go into detail, population, please look at over 65 and 75. You can see a big number here. Then as a result that dependency rate, even in 2035 in Hong Kong, 2 people who can work and can make money need to support 1 person. In Japan, 1.7 person need to support 1 person. And then also, this slide doesn't show that over 75% people may consume most of, over 50% of medication expense. Medication expense. They need to drink a lot of medicines,
yeah,
so they consume a lot, most of the expense.
Yes, yes.
So we really need to solve this issue. Otherwise, this really become a big burden if we do not, I think, invest or take action now. I think later on we need to do again.
I think, yeah, I really, really like this chart because it shows so clearly the impact of aging on a society. You can see the trends, the line on the left-hand side, the lines going up, but even more clearly on the right is the dependency ratio. On one hand, people are living longer and therefore consuming more of those needs of that care and that medical care and so on. But at the same time, because they're not contributing to the economy, a small portion of people are contributing. That dependency ratio is really, really key. And that will be a drag on the growth of an economy or the prosperity of an economy.
Yeah.
So the next one.
Yeah. So then, as a result of this, Hong Kong government is very clever. And then after the new Mr. Carrie Lam started taking her positions, they started this kind of action, take advantage of Japan case. This case, like in a very easy image, Japan has a lot of experience about this in this area industry. So then learn Japan and then use Japanese use case and then save time and cost and catch up.
Yeah.
This is really the good idea.
Mm.
So then let me explain what's happening actually. Hong Kong government is working on this aging policy, and Japan already started from 1973 and more than 50 years experience.
Mm.
So Hong Kong also joined this kind of activities, making copy Japan's HCL and then Japan, to Hong Kong side, GAES from 2017, and then using a budget, Hong Kong, very, cleverly allocated budget for this area, policy for aging society.
Mm.
And then because, finally, I think aging in place is a very ideal.
Yeah.
So then next page, actually, like many great, gentlemen like Mr. Barnett Chan. May I pronounce correctly?
Yes.
May I
Barnett Chan, yes.
Barnett Chan,
Yeah.
and Mr. Lo Chi-kong,
Yes.
and Mr. Choi Hoi-wai,
Yes.
and also Rebecca also, I think, she's
Yes,
doing.
of course.
They try to share what kind of Japanese equipment they created and they available in Japan.
Mm.
Then here's home care rehabilitation exhibition has been held every year in Japan.
Mm.
So before COVID-19, I also went there in Tokyo together with Hong Kong government people, elderly care facility people to shop those equipment.
Mm.
Then they started from 17 in Hong Kong and then started sharing and then tried to import.
Mm.
This is good for Hong Kong people for aging in place.
Yes.
That's a really great idea.
Aging in place. That's
Yeah.
a really key word.
Yeah, key words.
Very key word.
Then this last slide in this subject. So Hong Kong government and society and improving the whole elderly care system. So I think if you can really understand the need in this industry, I think you can jump in to help them to do some business also.
Yeah.
So like GIS and the government also made a fund for 1 billion 2017 and continuously rolling out, expanding it.
Mm.
And then newly, they're going to start rental business in Sha Tin for elderly care, because just purchasing the equipment for aging life sometimes may cost a lot. So doing some rental business, I think really help the people to experience, to use this service.
Yes.
So on the right side, Hong Kong has a lot of HK, good facility and organizations. HKCSS is take a great initiative to roll out this scheme, and then using this is very Hong Kong, very specialty, has a lot of charity fund, and then communicate with many top NGO like Tonghua Sion.
Yeah.
So this is a very great, movement. But I think that if many investors can join and a company can join in Hong Kong here to understand the real needs, I think we can make it better one, improve it.
Very good. Thank you. That's very key. I think the understanding of the government about these issues in partnership with the NGOs and other stakeholders. I think there'll be a slide later on about universities and research organizations, all part of this. Moving on swiftly. I think we are probably a bit short of time. Maybe we can skip to the D section.
Okay.
The video. Maybe show the video. The videos.
Can we see that? Do we have time?
Yeah, I think we have just a couple of minutes. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
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 This is a concept video from Japan government. This is very countryside. But by utilizing 5G, we can really realize this kind of convenience. We are living, two elderly people living in the countryside. Using some drone. Grandma talking to the doctor, who's a miller, and then think about her health. So grandson is trying to now. So asking the car, give me the very nice music to this scene outside. And he's going to use some drugstore shop. No person there. Actually, he's not stealing.
Shopping.
Shopping.
Modern shopping.
More shopping.
Yeah.
Can go out. Automatically, the cost.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I'm really.
He just met this, non-Japanese
Okay,
people.
yeah, I'm definitely here.
And talk to him using his
Translation.
instant translation.
Yeah.
Here. So one daughter also tried to join him, visiting their grandfather and grandmother.
She's the sister.
Yeah, she's a sister here. So she asked him, "Where are you now? You are supposed to visit, grandpa, grandma. You are late." Then he popped up that, some devices there. Then, I'm here. So, just, his sister understand that where he is now. Oh, very close to the grandpa's house. This is very typical Japan countryside.
Very nice.
So you relate, we are waiting for you. Then this grandson starts setting up some of the event in their home. Where this grass? What's happened? Hey, let's go. Come, sister. Virtual. Yes. Maybe this, yeah, but maybe this is good for under the COVID-19. Then we invite also the band. They're celebrating golden,
It's the anniversary.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's very beautiful.
Yeah, I think this is one of the tiny Japan case example. But I think that if we can get together to get the wisdom, we can do the same things in Hong Kong. For aging place.
Yes.
Based on the Hong Kong lifestyle.
Yeah, and I think Hong Kong is a fantastic place to try things, try new things. The market is so small, or the place is so small, relatively small, and companies can come and learn and experiment with something and pilot something very quickly. And if it works, they can pick it up very quickly. If it doesn't work, they can adapt and change and develop something new. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Moving on quickly. The importation of healthcare products from, in this case, Japan, but I guess it would be similar, same sort of questions and problems from companies all over the world. What are the difficulties or challenges that you faced, and how have you overcome them?
So thank you. I think please allow me to use some use case study, case study of Hong Kong Shunhin cases, because I think if you can realize and then understand what the difficulty to import those, for example, like elderly care products from outside to Hong Kong, you can also have a knowledge how you can solve and then make it bigger and then good business.
Right.
So okay, this is actual case studies. So Shunhin, imported these two products to Hong Kong. One is Rishone plus, we call it robotics bed, from Panasonic side. This bed can be split into the two-part bed and also like a wheelchair, which can be transformed automatically to the wheelchair and by itself by just putting the bottom.
Right.
So this really can save the manpower, the caregivers number, usually to help them need the 3 people to transfer from bed to the wheelchair, but only 1 people can do. But even a little bit better conditions, patient can do that by herself by pushing the button. So really can give more chances to patient or elderly people to see and to act by herself. Himself. So that's really a good caring system. And the second is that robo helper, we call it Sasuke from Muscle Corp company. That this is really, as in Hong Kong, many facility, hospital, and elderly care, there are a lot of hoist system rail on the ceiling. But actually, the patient feel very fear when they were transferred using that hoist system. So instead of that, this is a system to holding the patient, the elderly people from the lower side. So that really give them more comfortable some feeling. So therefore, this is also liked and requested to import to Hong Kong. Okay. But then idea was okay. Let's shop and then let's import these many things. But in case of robotics bed Panasonic, we encounter these problem voltage and mattress and manual and localizations. But the actual difficulties, we need to clear the standards. So in case of Japanese products, they also apply for the Japanese standard. But in case of Hong Kong, especially in elderly care area, there is a very strict British, standards. In the past, many people died because of fire in elderly care site. So therefore, especially like a mattress, then it's need to, we need to go through about quality, about, not flammable, to make not flammable, things, as you can see on the right side of the video. So we really need to try it again and again to get the, such standard. Then on the left side, see some video. Okay. Yeah, actually that can be transformed automatically. Yeah. So it can save a lot of manpower. And then right side, even seat belt, it was not originally built, but set up, but it was requested by Hong Kong standards. Okay. Then next, like Sasuke, this automatic such robotics muscle, some holder. So this also in Japan, they set up the maximum loading allowed 80 kilogram, but according to the survey, it is requested 120. So, but even this kind of small change, if we don't know about what's the reality, requests, demands, and the specification standards in Hong Kong, I think it takes a lot of time. At the same time, one more important thing, always we encounter the problem. Hong Kong is very small market.
Yes.
So manufacturers do not want to spend so much resources to change it. But if we can have a story utilizing global, GBA, greater area, we can show that if you can be successfully changed and make up suitable products in Hong Kong, you can export it to greater area in a wide range, big market as it is. So even about relaxing such regulations between Hong Kong and GB area, not only about multi-currency. So that's really, I think, work and then innovate, motivate people to come to Hong Kong to good business and help people in these years.
Can I perhaps interrupt here, because I think we're running a bit short of time now. Maybe I can pass over to, do you have one more slide you want to talk very quickly on before I pass it over to Alan?
Yeah, I think, that's last two slides.
Okay, last two slides. Yeah, maybe a couple of minutes on the last two slides. Which one? This one?
23.
Trustworthy, 23, okay.
But at the same time, I know from my experience, to import that goods, if you can buy and import privately, it's maybe good. However, on commercial basis, on business basis, I think better to have some good party, like a trustworthy, reliable partner in business in Hong Kong. Then in case of Shunhin, we already have in 67 years, we have a platform like you can see here, from sales, logistic and warehouse and SI and many in many even about after service. So we can provide this platform. So then that's really easy for foreign companies to come to Hong Kong, rely on this platform, then do business. They can concentrate on their own product quality.
Yes.
And this is very important. Last things, maybe we can I guess. Last things I'd like to share, it's the same, but this is another things I think I really like to share more people outside. Hong Kong has a lot of great system, Invest Hong Kong, TDC, Science Park, STP, STP, and even LSGM, and then HKCS and the universities. But these functions and the merit of you together doing some collaboration are not known so much.
Right.
So this is one of the things we need to think about, how we can share the benefit in working with them. So those for investor to utilize GBA.
Great.
I think, today's we shared a lot of idea and a situation, but I think that the things I'm dreaming under the COVID-19, very special circumstances. I think thinking about what is the expertise of Hong Kong, like Alan said, and then we have a lot of support and good conditions. And then why don't we utilize those, outside technology to get together in Hong Kong using Hong Kong ecosystem, then make it, for example, like number one, very good idea to support elderly care people, even aging life, aging place. Then they can save a lot of money, and then even under COVID-19, they can enjoy the good high quality of life. If we can make a package together and then complete it in Hong Kong, we can export to many different countries to support them. So Hong Kong become again very famous, the city who can support globally. Under the COVID-19, special case can guarantee such special conditions, good quality of life to those people. I think we can, if we can do it together, using his idea also, it's really great.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have just about run out of time. I've got several right to the end. Okay. I've got several questions here which we haven't had time to answer. But what I promised to do is I will record those questions. I'll get to Alan and Fujimoto-san to go and answer them. And what I'll show now is, maybe you can display my contact details right at the end. Okay, right here you have my contact details. There's also QR code. I'll leave it on there for a few seconds so you can do a screen cap.
Okay.
And you can zap it. Get in touch with me. I'll be liaising with Fujimoto-san and Alan as after this, and we'll get answers to all of you. Thank you very much for joining all of us. We are absolutely delighted to have you. And this is just the start of that conversation. Let's keep talking. Thank you.
Thank you very much.